After looking at their collection, I'm more convinced that these people are worth pursuing, and further, I think we need to adopt pretty much the same range complete. I think we need to make some changes. I've gone on to say here that I think we should engage a designer full-time, an IT specialist probably part-time, an assistant for Tammy probably part-time, and I think those little things, the designer might seem like it's coming from left field, but when I look at the quality of the designs that those people that are attuned to what's happening in the world and what we're doing, we struggle with it. And it's not a criticism, because I don't have design capabilities and Lindy doesn't have design capabilities. You can come away from something and say, that was fantastic, let's pursue it, but unless you can actually translate it accurately and then take on board the colour mixes and all that sort of stuff, you're always going to be sort of stumbling along. So I'm fully convinced that that's an important step in our development. We also learned that we need to be green, and we need to be at the forefront of this green movement. This is what will define the survivors in the era of ecological concerns and cheap competition. Right through the whole HD show, there were people presenting and promoting green, and we need to do the same. People like Transprint, I brought some information down here which I'll distribute to you, but they've changed their whole approach to dye sublimation printing. They're rebadging it, they're calling it air-dried dyeing, and it's not only a change of name, but it's a change of process. The company that took over Transprint, Colour Rep in California, had a $25 million grant from a university, I think it was Stanford, to research improving the method of dry dyeing. And they've come up with things that have higher degrees of penetration, that can be dyed, or in our old jargon, printed, front and back simultaneously, and they can regulate the depth of penetration so that the two dye stuffs meet halfway, and it's very sophisticated. They supply a black box that controls temperatures, and there's some adaptations required on our machinery to make this work, and it consists of making sure that the temperature on both of the papers that are being fed in is consistently the same. So that requires heating the blanket and so forth. But that's just one example of how they've confronted the Chinese tsunami, really, and they're coming forward. They're talking about strong ecological advantages. They're talking about, for instance, this process, unlike our regular process, is cleanable with chlorine bleaches, and they've got all the accreditation you can think of with regard to the environmental controls and so forth. Similarly, the Krypton people have gone green. They've sort of got dark green and light green, and everything's green, and that's very exciting. They've got no toxic chemicals coming out of their plant. They're just right onto it, and I think it's very important. And I feel that we need to be even more thorough in that than we have been. We've had some good things also. That they've got a product they're calling In-Case, and it's somewhat similar to the sort of process that the Scotchgard used to represent, where it gives an easy clean and a soil resistance and stuff like that. And they've asked us if we'd like to be the licensees for that, so when we've said, yeah, of course we would, but we've now got to work out how we do it, because it's a dye house process. We either put in a small dye house ourselves, which I'm not going to do, or we hitch our wagon to somebody that can do it and will do it thoroughly for us. So there's that. So I didn't mention to you that this air dye process is also a licensing arrangement, where they're sending us the applications. They've asked us to be the licensee for that. So we're making some really good headway, and I'm very excited about the future for us. I think if we're going to be excellent, we need to hitch our wagon to excellent people. And I think we have, in fact, by and large, done that. We've got good people in Krypton, with the people like Valdez, for instance, are ahead of the game in terms of their fashion, their innovation, their greenness, their every aspect of their business. And so the trip was stimulating and provoking many ideas, which I think you'll find will unfold over the next few weeks, and we'll keep you posted on that. The X I mentioned in the beginning about people being excellent or extinct, well, I think we're going to be exceptional, and we're going to be exciting, we're going to be extraordinary, and we're going to be extremely successful. So we've got the people in place to do that.